On episode 5 of Pretty and Pride, we touch base on our week. Kiki tries Pilates. We circle back to the Oscars and talk about why celebrity culture is so weird, and end with our weekly ins and outs.
Okay. I don't fear no man, but I'ma still put 60 in this Drake. Set it off like Queen Latifah, nigga playing with my cake. Split the bag up with my brother, 50-50 what we made. I can't let no nigga eat that ain't contribute to this plate. Run it up, I just need 30.
Welcome, Pretty and Pride listeners. I'm your host, Ken.
And I'm Kiki.
And this is Pretty and Pride, where we talk all things pop culture.
You guys know the drill. You know it's just the things that we care about. Come on.
With very little research.
With little research,
yeah,
exactly.
Coming into this episode, I know that nothing's happened.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. Well, I'm interested to hear how your week was.
My week was really good. I think I'm just going to kick it off
What
with
happened?
what I want to talk about.
Tell us what happened.
I tried Reformer Pilates for the first time this week.
Is Reformer Pilates?
Yeah, it's the one where they're on the actual like machine with like the
Oh.
cables and it was very S&M.
So wait, there's
perfect.
there's a different. As you know,
Yes.
little research.
You can
I know
do,
nothing about Pilates.
like mat Pilates, which is just like what you would do like at home by yourself. But then they have like a Pilates like machine where you have springs
Or
and
sliding.
you're like sliding and there's resistance.
Okay.
So that's Reformer Pilates.
Okay.
So it started off, one of my friends was like, oh, you should try it. You should sign up for ClassPass, free trial. I was like, okay, sure. And I didn't get around to doing it until like the free trial's over in a couple of days. And I was like, oh, put a notification in my calendar. I'm going to cancel this when it's done. I don't want to pay for this crap. Do one Pilates class. I'm like, I love it. And unfortunately, I am going to have to pay for this because it is such a vibe. All of the things that you would see and would make you judge it are all the reasons that you love it. Like getting the acai bowl afterward. It just felt so like just, refreshing. And like, you feel like, just like first of all, the class itself is so serene. And, it's like 8 people in there. The instructor, of course, is giving you directions. It feels like you're, it's difficult work, but it's also like light work. Like, oh, let me just grab a sip from my water. And like, you're not sweating. You're not disgusting. It was such cute vibes. And it was a workout and also low impact. Not
Which
to
you
monologue.
for your Rick James legs.
Exactly. I've had to stop my marathon training, my half marathon training, because I'm tired of being in pain. So it was just the best. I unfortunately fell in love with it right away. I am a sucker. I never thought I would like Pilates. Also, the creator of Pilates, Joseph Pilates, is a descendant of Pontius Pilate.
Wait. The creator of Pilates.
Yes.
This is a descendant of the man who condemned Jesus to be crucified.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, I never thought I'd be into Pilates. Then I saw a TikTok talking about that. I was like, yeah, in the name of Jesus, I can't do Pilates. Anyways, it was great. It was fantastic. And now I'm signed up for 2 more classes this weekend. And my $60 ClassPass membership is going to renew next week. So there we are.
Is that a weekly cost or is that the monthly?
It's the monthly cost. But the way that it works, it gives you credits to use. So it's not $60
for a pyramid scheme. In
I
the
know,
Pilates
right?
class.
Like, it's not like $60 and you can go where, like, use it as much as you want. It's like, oh, let's say it's $60 and you get 20 credits a month. And within, like, a class might be 4 to 8 credits or something. And so, I don't know.
Now there's math in the Pilates?
Math involved.
Why not just one class is a credit?
Like, because they have all sorts of people sign up for this, like studios sign up for ClassPass. So they have like sauna studios,
more intense,
bar.
like you would pay more credits, or if you wanted like this hot instructor, not hot looks, but like
so
hot
there's
to
like
trot.
a million Pilates studios or workout studios, and all of them are on it. So it's not just Pilates; it's like yoga, it's at like a random fitness class, strength training, a sauna. They have massages on there, so like any type of fitness-based business can sign up and offer their things for credits, which I'm sure it's like. Credits equals cash. Like, I don't know.
What is this?
I have no
ecosystem.
idea. Yeah. So
Starbucks model, collecting your stars.
Spending them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for our listeners that can't see me, they probably will not, well, they may or may not be shocked to learn that I do not look like someone who does Pilates, and I don't look like anyone who would ever do Pilates.
I don't think there's a certain look, but you do a lot of yoga. I feel like you would like it because it's like that. I don't know. I just feel like you would like it.
My philosophy about, because I've like tried yoga classes at yoga studios. I have a friend who really enjoys hot yoga, which I like oppose vehemently. I don't like membership models because I want the ability to do any working out in my home. So like I feel like if I could do mat Pilates in my house, then I would be interested. The reformer machine looks really interesting.
It is
to me.
interesting.
Like it looks really enticing, but the idea of the cumbersome burden that becomes getting in my car, driving to wherever this place is, parking, getting with the vibes, like figuring out how I look, and then like going through the class. I just know me. I'm going maybe once or 2 or 3 times, and I'm never going back again.
Well, and that's why I don't want to be this to be an ad for ClassPass, but like that's why that's an interesting model because you could try different studios. You can sign up as it a lot like as you want to go versus I'm not paying $250 to go to a Pilates studio up the road, and I go every Saturday. Like that's too much for me because I still have to be in my Monday through Friday gym bag. So
that's fair.
But yeah, I'll send you my referral code. You can sign up under and do your little free trial and we could go together. I think I like it.
I mean, that could be fun.
Yeah.
Pilates and Pod. You have the
Pilates and Pod Club.
Pretty and Pilates. You have the like discipline to set your mind to be like, okay, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, those are my Pilates days. And you will religiously go Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. I have the mind to say Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Wednesday, I'm not feeling it. Thursday, I might as well just let the whole week go. Saturday, I really should go. And in fact, this is the best time for me to go, but I'm not going to go.
You do yoga every Saturday pretty much. So you're getting there. You're going to be all right. We're going to go.
Yeah. But I will say like the one thing I enjoy about yoga is that I don't like, it's something you can do anywhere. And it really is paced to like, it's meant to be like about not pushing your body beyond its own limits, which I appreciate. The challenge of a class is that you feel the like inherent pressure of other people performing the exercise tasks.
No,
and
I didn't feel that because, well, first of all, I'm in great shape. So I didn't feel that. Second of all, I'm injured. And so when she said, does anyone have any injuries? I said, absolutely. That way, if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. And I can just be like, it's my injury. So, no, you don't feel that pressure at all.
Don't ask me what's in my cup. Ain't gonna be no problem.
Exactly. And I will make you feel guilty if you question me. So, we're going to try it together. We're going to see how you feel about it.
Yay.
Yeah, it's going to be great. How was your week? Did anything notable happen on your end?
No, I mean, I had this week of just like work-wise, I felt like I was working a lot and getting a lot of gratification from how much I was working. I just had some like I'm a procrastinator. Okay. So like I've never suffered any consequences from my procrastination. So I've never changed anything about that working model, even though it lends to my suffering each and every time. So all week I was essentially in this loop of suffering because I had procrastinated certain things. They all became more urgent than they needed to be when I had all of this downtime previously to do them. That being said, I get this like sixth sense of satisfaction when it's like, oh, I'm hitting the deadline. It might not have been the original like AM deadline, but it's still the day of deadline, and the feedback's pretty good. So
diamonds are made under pressure.
Yeah, thank you. So I had that experience, and it was really cool. I had one of my coworkers actually shout me out to my former boss about something that I had done. It was one of those experiences, and I'm gonna tell you this because I think it's funny. So this project that I was working on, I don't think the pod will give a shit about this, but I do think it's funny where the project I was working on, the person who was leading the project would ping me on Teams, every so often, like trying to touch base and offering her help. Like, hey, Ken, just trying to see how things are going. And if you need any help, reach out to me. And it's like, I know that in her doing that, what she really wants is like me to give her an update. But rather than give her the update, the power move that I would play would be like, all right, I'll keep you posted. If I have any questions, I'll let you know. So I wasn't going to give her the information. And then when it came time for me to actually deliver, I was pretty much asking all the questions that I should have been asking throughout, like in email. But I was making it very like organized. And she actually really appreciated it. So I think I actually exceeded her expectations. I don't know if it's because she thought I was dumb or I didn't have the skills, but my little power move was to not buy into the subtext that I knew she was delivering, but instead just deliver excellent quality work. And
say it with your chest, or you'll have to wait to get the results.
Yep. So essentially, I had a really decent week. I'm glad that it's over, but I feel like it's also leading to a really busy weekend.
Yeah. I don't relate at all to your procrastination issues.
I know. You're very meticulous. You plan. You stick to those plans. That's the other thing. You stick to those plans.
Very much so, actually. That's why I'm really struggling with this giving up on my half marathon because of pain. Because I'm like, it's on the list.
Okay, to be fair though,
it's on the list. So
you should have known immediately when you were making the plan to do the half marathon with the person you were making that plan with that half marathon was going to be I was going to do endeavor.
Fine, I'll do it myself. And then with all of my Rick James legs issues, and I'm like, well, I need to take a break. But that's really setting me back on the training program. And like, do I have to give up on doing a half marathon this year? It's on the list. So I don't know what to do. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to revisit it in a month or so.
What if you could, is the list rigid enough that like it says half marathon has to stay half marathon? Or is it like, could you do something like a 5K that is also for a charitable cause that you care about?
5K is on my 300 list and half marathon's on my 300 list, but half marathon's also on my this year list. I was already up to 7 miles. I'm halfway there, So I don't know. I guess I tried to run a mile.
I guess it is just one day. So you only really need to put your body through this for one.
No, it's actually all the training leading up to the one day that's killing my body.
Just forget about that. Just get to the marathon.
Get to the marathon and run 13 miles.
Do it and then be done.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you were up to 7. That's not even
exactly.
6 more to go.
And I was struggling through those 7,
You can't do that.
I can't do
that. You can do a quarter marathon.
I could do a 5K, but I'm like, that's like Babytown Frolics in comparison. I did that on the treadmill.
And they don't really run those. They really just walk.
Turkey trot them.
They really just rally behind whatever their cause is. I did have a friend who ran one like competitively against like cancer survivors.
Oh,
it was like a breast cancer 5K, right? And so it's like she went out there for the run. Everyone else like did not
like just celebrating their health and wellness,
or they're hitting their fundraising goal. But yeah, she went out there for the.
You know what? Run. Sometimes you need easy pride. You need to feel like a winner. Go find a bunch of people that'll make that goal easy to accomplish. So I can see the vision your friend had.
So in essence, like it's on the list. So you need to figure out whether or not you're going to push this to the next year, or
it's just hard to pivot all of a sudden and just like, I'm not doing it anymore. Like I have to be in pain, a little bit more pain before I make the decision to not do it anymore. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay. All right.
We'll see. But yeah.
All right.
We gon' trap out in the city, grab a bow and run through it. I'm addicted to these presents. Every day I get to it. This that money making music. You can move.
I think we need to circle back on a couple of topics from last week. I want to start with the Schitt's Creek theme song.
Okay.
Nothing is talked about this on TikTok, so no one said anything about it on TikTok. I did watch season 1, episode 2 on Hulu. I thought during the intro was the same, and then he goes to the front desk to talk to Stevie. It's one where the ceiling's dripping on his face. He goes to the front desk to talk to Stevie, And
does he need a towel?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's next to the hammam
it's
spa.
so loud, and the intro, like it wasn't even like it carried through. It just like, I guess it did. It just kept going, and I was like, I don't remember that being there. So I'll have to watch a couple of more episodes, but I did feel like that was different. But I don't know.
Oh, I'm glad we circled back on your half-assed attempt at research.
I did.
You didn't even watch enough.
I even truthfully forgot until I was editing the pod, and then I was too busy by that point. So
okay, I need to know not just the first part where it's introing
so
into
now
the dollar
we're gonna do a
sign.
third circle back to this next week. We're gonna talk about it for a third time. Okay.
You know what?
You got
I
it.
don't care if our listeners know. I need to know. I need to
Okay.
know whether I'm being Mandela affected into thinking that the music I recall as an intro and outro to this show is what I remember.
Okay, sorry. I
So
run
it's also
so
the
many
outro
businesses that I had to, I just got a little busy.
not
with
the humble flex.
Oh,
I'm just so busy with my to-do list.
baby, I run businesses, okay?
I am very rich.
I am very rich. This, you know what I'm gonna say. This isn't like, woo, I'm a podcaster.
This is a business.
This is a business, and we're making money from this, okay?
Okay, random. I posted on my Instagram, Bissy is fine, picture of us in Hawaii.
I saw.
And I was trying to figure out which ones because I was like, first of all, we planned those looks. That was a great job. We did a great job.
We really did.
We really need to get into our bag for
body
Paris.
tea, looks tea. I mean, like, yeah, we really need to get it together right now.
Yeah,
Paris. Like
actually.
3 weeks ago, we needed to get it
Actually,
together.
yeah, I need you to put together our lookbook.
Oh my God, you give me so many tasks. Every day I talk to you, you're just giving me more things to do. And then when I answer the phone, I'm like, what? And you're like, oh, I'm so offended. As if every time you call, you haven't given me weeks worth of work.
I mean, I'm willing to take that on, but I just know that you've got a different vision. Your skills. I know what our strengths are. Honestly.
Yeah, well, stop assigning me work. Maybe I'll be a little more excited when you call.
My point is you have one of the pictures that I want to post. Yes, on your sweater.
You're like, project plan our social media launches. That was something you told me.
I did work. I went into Copilot and
Did you?
I searched what the social media strategy for
I love that.
personal versus a business, and I sent it to us.
I didn't see it.
Well, then,
I love that.
Okay. I'm glad we circled back on that. No,
and we'll do it again.
No resolution. But
I need resolution. Did you get your bagel?
No.
Oh wow.
I am in the trenches.
Why did you not wake up on time?
I haven't woken up on time, haven't wanted to leave the house, and it's hard because I've shared this. I do not eat typically until 12 o'clock. So I'm already naturally, like, my body is not really getting to hunger until that time, which is just conflicting the breakfast cutoff time of McDonald's. Yeah. So I'm also trying to stick very closely to my commitment to only eat out no more than 2 meals a week. So ironically, today, before you came over, I was thinking about how hungry I was and how I really don't want to cook the recipe that I need to cook. And I was like, have I had 2 meals out today? Should I risk it, or should I? Because I will be doing yoga tomorrow, which means I will have the opportunity post yoga to treat myself to that bagel.
And what'd you decide?
I haven't decided.
Okay.
I got to figure it out. But now that we're talking about it, I'm leaning towards, girl, you got to get this bagel.
The like continuous line that I'm walking between. I need to get so fit, like for Paris for summer, versus like I saw this restaurant that serves a really delicious cheesecake, a ricotta cheesecake. I'm like, like, oh, like, what are you supposed to do? This is the devil on my shoulder and the angel on my shoulder day in and day out, and I'm so exhausted from it.
Every week our episodes have devolved
Very
into
food-centered, yeah.
us being fucking big backs who just love food, want to talk about food, want to eat more food, want to get skinny, but also want to,
want to eat that food. Not to mention those peanut butter cups I sent you. Peanut butter and
Yeah,
jelly
where are
peanut
they?
butter cups.
Where are they?
Are you kidding me? I didn't stop by the gas station because
I'm not kidding you. Why would you send me a picture?
We haven't
of
even
that?
tried the lava ones yet.
Why would you why would you send me a picture of that?
If I had to know about
Did
it,
you eat
had
them?
to know about it. No.
So you haven't had them. You didn't bring them.
I
don't
found
get
that,
to try them.
those showed up on a random Facebook, like on my Facebook feed from a page I don't even follow. The sabotage.
That truly is diabolical.
I don't even follow this Big Back Foodies page.
I'm trying to do me, and instead they're out here
Right.
advertising brand new Reese's peanut butter cups.
It's insane. I don't know when. Oh, also. I was at the store. You know, they have Reese's eggs because it's, Easter time. They have Reese's carrots now.
Stop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I think reality has to happen. It is March 7th. We leave in 6 weeks for this Paris trip.
We gotta start keeping some things to ourselves.
I'm not. It's not happening.
We're on different pages again.
It's not happening.
I feel like we're still locked in. We're still locked in.
No,
We just need to stop talking about it with each other because we're like co-sabotaging. Like I have to suffer in silence with the PB&J knowledge. I shouldn't have told you about that, okay? And I shouldn't have told you about the carrots. You need to shut up about the bagels, okay? You need to shut up about your Chili's date nights, all right? I don't hear about your pineapple upside down cheesecake anymore.
I'm so glad that you brought up Chili's date night. Okay, so this is going to be a great tangent. You're going to love this. So my spouse and I I'm only allowing myself 2 meals a week out of the house. And one of those meals is reserved for mine and my spouse's date night. So I resolve that we're going to go to Chili's, America's fast casual dining experience.
So good.
And then afterwards, we're going to hit up Costco. I want some cottage cheese because I'm tired of starving in the middle of the day and not having anything to eat. I did get cottage cheese. So we go to Chili's and, sit down, get ready to order, looking at the menu. Every fucking item is like 900 calories.
Yes.
900 calories. I'm like, this was a terrible idea. I want to get the triple decker.
The triple dipper.
The triple dipper. I want to get yes.
Yeah.
I want to get the triple dipper.
It's like 2,000 calories.
So many calories. I look over to my right. We're sitting in one of those half booths, half table. And my partner's across from me. I'm on the booth side. And I turn over to my right. And I see a stroller with 2 Yorkshire Terrier dogs inside of it. And I said, nope, that's enough for me. I don't need to be here. Not with this 2,000 calorie poison and this restaurant that just allows people to bring in their emotional support service animals to dinner. I got up so quickly. The waitress just came over to drop the water and ask us for a drink. I said, we're going to go because there's a service, there's animals in this restaurant and I'm not eating next to that. So we go over to instead this Mexican cantina. I don't, from the outside, I think I imagined more of like a, more of a Tex-Mex, muted, not necessarily it was kind of an austere beige color, but it had this black font. So it looked like it was just going to be like a New Mexican style cantina place. So we walk in and what we see instead, we do decide to eat here, but what we see instead is the most crazy mishmash of white, black, brown tone. But then there was this one wall that had this blue pop of color with some additional wallpapering. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit of an interesting vibe clash in the decor itself. Then you sit down and I guess there was a birthday because they then turned the music up very loud and Mr. Worldwide was playing.
Okay.
It's like a club. So it's like a club vibe. Uh-huh. Okay. They deliver empanadas out. Empanadas. On a fucking fucking clothesline. Okay. Like two sticks, like a rope of twine, and then clothespins holding these empanadas to it. I think at some point a bassinet of some sort was also carried. The food was so good, actually, which was what was insane about this place. Because it was in the same parking lot as this Chili's. I was like, let's just go here. We'll get some food. It had caught my eye coming in. But the decor mishmash, the waiter when we leave is like, yeah, so Fridays and Saturdays, the music's pretty loud. They turn it into a club. And I guess some people don't like that. And I thought, and yet you keep doing it. So it was just a crazy dining experience. Wow. And like I said, the food was so good, but I was telling my partner, I was like, I probably would never go back there. Like,
that's like at least the second Mexican restaurant I know that turns into a club sometimes. Like, that's not the first I've heard of a Mexican restaurant being a club.
It was an insane experience. Like, when I don't know what
I'm really worried about the clothesline empanadas.
It was like the presentation of food where it was like, I don't understand what they were getting at. And obviously, the irony being that like I was looking for a Chili's dining experience and instead I ended up with this, like, I would say a slightly more an attempt at more elevated food in the same ballpark price. But like, I don't know what they were going for in terms of like, what's the concept of this restaurant?
It really reminds me of some of those Kitchen Nightmares episodes, except for it sounds like they were, but like where it's like just a narcissistic man starts a restaurant with some crazy half-baked schemes and like thinks that all these things are interesting when it's like really just confusing for your guests. At least they have good food to back it up. But
yeah, I thought that sounds decent.
I'm an opinionated guest. So I don't know if that, not to the people that work there, but I'll talk behind your back about like we are now.
Yeah.
So that might not be for me because I would get very overwhelmed very quickly and like I would be a deer in headlights in a situation like that.
I definitely was not chill vibes during the dinner because one, the water glasses were tiny tumblers.
I can't stand
it was
that.
So annoying.
I'm so freaking thirsty and like especially when first of all, if you leave the pitcher of water on the table, what am I, your slave? I don't want to fill up my own water. If you don't leave the pitcher of water on the table, you better be running back here every 5 seconds because I'm a thirsty gal.
I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, what is this?
You think this makes you look cool? Like, I you know what it is that they don't think that people drink the water. I'm very, I drink a lot of liquids. I'm very thirsty. So, like, you're going to bring me my Diet Coke and you're going to refill that all the time. Now, and then in between those refills, I'm drinking the water every single time. So, the amount of times that I go to restaurants and I'm like, can I get more water? I mean, obviously, like, very kindly, but I'm like, I'm always out of a beverage. But also don't leave the pitcher on my table because that's not my job.
Right.
So
they didn't leave the pitcher, but it was a frustrating experience because it's like, I don't drink anything but water for the most part. So it was like, okay, I actually would like an adult size glass to drink this water. I don't need it to be like that. They dropped the food, plate's really hot. Again, relatively tasty, but it's like, what are we going here for? Like, why is the Mexican rice and like, it was like one of those when I took the cooking classes in high school. And it's like, okay, we're going to scoop the rice into this, round mound so that we can then flip it over on the plate and it has a beautiful presentation. And you would normally do that with like a risotto. I'm like, why do I need my Mexican rice and my refried beans in this like beautiful presentation? I don't understand.
Yeah.
But it was just like, so I don't know what they were going for vibe-wise. I was not the coolest of guests, I'm sure, because I'm just like, I think they could tell that I was just like, what's happening? Like, what's going on?
It's very loud in here.
Yeah. So, anyways, a tangent for our tangents.
For our tangents.
Turn the trap house to a condo and the yacht to a Benz. I'ma live it up cause I don't know when God gon' call my name. All I know is I stay flying, never worry.
Do we want to say anything about any opinions on the Oscars at all? Any thoughts?
Well, as we readily admitted, didn't see any of the movies. I know there was a lot of conversation around Mikey Madison winning Best Actress over Demi Moore. I didn't see him, so I can't say. But I like Demi, so I was hoping that she would win. It's like been such a good. The truth is that outside of the movies, I like a story. So her story of her comeback, I think, was a really exciting story. I do find it interesting that they've been, and when you think about the history of the Oscars, that they very much favor young women to win and not young men, and then the reverse of that being true. So like as the men age, they become, like it took Leonardo DiCaprio forever to get his Oscar. And like you find that like they often award like for the actors series, like for the men, they're much older.
Is that what the commentary has been, that like Demi should have won instead of this Mikey?
I don't think necessarily just based on the age thing. I think the thing is that I don't know if it's good acting because I don't know these people. Like is that your personality or not? I think everyone thought they were both good movies. But it's just very historical for the Oscars to not really like value older women as much as they value younger women, which probably has a lot to do with the way the industry is.
I feel like that's something where like has Meryl Streep won an Oscar since like reaching this older age of her acting career. Same with Glenn Close.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
little research. It's not to say that it's not done, but it is very interesting. Like when I think about when women in the industry have won their Oscars, they have been younger. And when men have won their Oscars, like the ones that you follow their career, they have been older. Also, Adrian Brody won another Oscar and he gave the longest speech in Oscars history saying absolutely F all. Like,
yeah,
it was so cringe. It's very hard to watch cringe moments for me. That I sometimes skip past them, but I'm like, I have to watch this so I can have an actual opinion on it. These women from Bravo who have a podcast, they interviewed Megan Thee Stallion on the Vanity Fair red carpet, and I actually do follow both of their careers, Hannah Berner and Paige DeSorbo. And
tell me about this because I saw it pop up in my gossip, but like don't know the backstory.
So they were interviewing Meg Thee Stallion, and Hannah Berner says, "Oh, like I love your music. Every time I listen to it, it makes me want to fight." And it just came off like very much like a microaggression because Megan does not make music about fighting at all. If anything, she talks a lot about how she's too much of a bad bee to fight, and like it makes you want to, be that girl. And Meg handled it very well. She was like, I don't know about all that fighting, but like, if you want to be one of those girls, put on your best like clothes and stuff, like she like kind of, redirected it. I'm sure what she meant was it made her more confident.
And feel empowered.
Yes. But it's like the connection that is in white people's brains to violence when like that, like that's really was the issue is that like, exactly. Like you connect, you just see us as more aggressive. And that's really the problem is like, it's not the behavior or the words, it's the mindset that led those behaviors and words. And that's really what people were calling out. Also, it was interesting, and I picked up on this, and people picked up on it as well, so that they said that they were such a big fan of hers, and then they asked her what her sign was. Everyone knows Megan's an Aquarius. She talks about it like literally nonstop. Like, literally nonstop. Like, so,
I can be, but in their defense, which I don't know who these people are, not familiar with them. In their defense, like I feel like I can be a fan of someone as like the character and persona that I'm familiar with, and not necessarily like do lyrical breakdowns of.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I feel like it was very cringy to watch. It was very cringy to watch their interview. I had to skip it a couple of times. I was like, I need to watch this. And again, like I said, like I feel like my opinion was I understood what she meant. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Kelly Osbourne saying, and then what are they going to do? What are you going to do, Mr. Donald Trump, when there's no Mexicans in this country to clean your toilets? Like it was that type of situation where it's like, okay, like I understood the the sentiment of what you were trying to say of like, there's this labor force that you don't appreciate what they do regardless of like, there's certain things that people are doing that you're not willing to do. And the way that it came out was so wrong, like, and it also kind of reminds me of when Trump was saying like, oh, they're over here taking black jobs. And I was saying that like that totally went over black people's heads. And like, until I realized that he sees like low labor jobs as black jobs. So that's why he was trying to connect that like immigrants take black jobs. Whereas Black people, we see our jobs as like the CEO. So like we didn't even catch that comment for what it was because we're not even thinking that way. But he like was trying to rile up this base of like, they're taking your jobs when it's like, we don't see those as our jobs. Like, so that's really the basis of that. It's like, I know that there wasn't intentional harm with that, but that is the problem with microaggressions. That is the problem with not breaking down your racism, is that you do a lot of harm because you're not trying to break down your biases. So also what was really actually super duper cringy is they brought up her documentary a lot of times and like all the suffering that she's been through recently. I'm like, why would you bring that up? I'm on the red carpet. I'm looking fly.
Women love Black people suffering.
Stop re-traumatizing me and talk. Like, I understand. Like, I just feel like there was a more elegant way of saying, I was really inspired by your documentary and everything you went through. And you know, I'm so glad to see you out here tonight and like that you're living your best life. You know what I mean? But like, they very much were like, it was so sad watching your documentary. It's like, no, you know, okay. And then what? Like, do you have anything positive to say? So
yeah.
But overall,
I wonder if this is like a mechanism of the fact that these people should not be on red carpets interviewing people. Like, they are not journalists. They are not known for, or like at least schooled in, you know, how to conduct engaging conversation with people. When you have to know like just enough about enough people to have that interesting moment on a red carpet where people only have, you know, 25, 30 seconds.
I think that was a lot of discourse online as well. And I think, which I also agree with, is that like also journalists can make really big flubs too. And I think it's, at the end of the day, you need to have some sort of like, what's her name? Charisma and read the room. Like,
what is her name? Oh my God. Like Gianna? Is that her name?
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about the one that said Zendaya's hair was, she smelled like weed and patchouli.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was her name? But, you know, she's an e-news journalist. So it's like she has the experience and she can, you know, anyone who has the experience can also.
And same with those people that blew off Babyface at the Grammys. Like, those were journalists. So it's like, it's an interesting line to tell.
Also, that was so cringy because it was just like.
Ooh. Not the guy that wrote,
not the most famous man in music. Like actually stop.
Who's been in the industry for so long.
Who's made people's careers, including Mariah Carey.
And like, just like one of those people is like randomly you're listening to a song, you're like, he did this one. What's that Madonna song that's
Take a Bow.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was an amazing song. But like that came out so long ago. I'm like, he looks like he was not even old enough to write that song.
He looks the exact same as he did.
How's that even possible? But like, you know, he's just one of those people that creeps up. You're like looking at it, you're like, Babyface, why are you involved in this? Why was he in this stew with Madonna? But yeah.
Also, watching that interview made me realize that if I saw these people on the street, like just out and about, if I saw Babyface in Target, I would have no idea that was Babyface.
I feel like we see famous people all the time and we're like, remember we walked past Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost? And you're like, that was them. I
because they don't look any. Okay, he looks exactly like he looks on SNL. Scarlett Johansson doesn't look anything like I'm used to seeing her because she's very, very petite. And she was just so tiny. She was so tiny that, you know, being the giant that I am, I barely acknowledge anyone's presence unless they're at least at eye level.
Also, I have horrible eyesight and I never wear my glasses. Also, when we saw all those basketball players, I think we only recognized them because we knew that they were. That Team USA was together.
Well, they're also 7 feet tall.
And they were all together and they were all wearing uniforms. But shout out KD. Kevin Durant will forever be my favorite basketball player because he was nice to my baby brothers.
Dapped him up.
He dapped him up. And that was like, I'm forever a fan because of that. Did not know who he was and didn't know what he looks like, but I know now.
Now. Yep. That's very true. It's like, okay, I know these are basketball players because ain't no fucking way you like we're tall. So people taller than us, I know immediately. Plus, we know where we are.
Yeah. Also, speaking of basketball players, something that came out recently was Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union have been under fire for years because they said they go 50-50. And everyone's like, not your super duper millionaire husband making you go 50-50 with him after he cheated on you and had a baby on you.
I was watching her talk about this.
Yeah. And so she came out and was like, no, it was like a trauma response. Although when I'm recalling that situation, I specifically recall them saying that he threw it in her face that if he pays the bills, he makes the rules basically. And she was like, well, then you won't pay the bills, which to me is not a trauma response. That's, I mean, an active trauma response, but not a past trauma response. But I think it's like actually really a change in the tides of like shame. Like we've adequately shamed her and to stop telling women to go 50-50. And so when your spouse makes so much more and they've embarrassed you on a public stage, that's not so. Then she came out. She came out and was like, no, it was me. It wasn't him. You lie. You lie. But, live your life, girl. And then I saw a comment that was like, dude, Chris Evans wanted her. She could have been Mrs. Captain America, but instead she settled for this. I was like, oh. First of all, I love that lore. Second of all, that sucks. But
Villain from one of my favorite films, Two Can Play That Game. Also a film that I was obsessed with the concept of creating.
Yeah. Dude, I watched that last year and it freaking holds up. I was like, I needed this after my divorce. I needed to rewatch it. I needed this before my divorce for sure. I didn't need it at 10 when I was watching it. Okay. And the lessons did not stick, but I needed this.
Yeah.
Before I got married and then after I was divorced.
Two Can Play That Game. Classic.
Deliver Us from Eva.
Well, yeah, if we're talking about Gabrielle Union.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about my favorite, where she's the
favorite.
villain. And I love that walkout song.
I thought you were going to say
think
Bring
that
It
was
On.
a Lil Wayne song. When she walks out with her long ponytail and it's swinging.
Slay.
And she was just fucking killing that scene. And she looks the exact same as well.
She does. God, she is a beautiful woman. That's why I'm like, I can't believe.
But I'm going to tell you right now, women in Hollywood are stronger than I am because I'm staying, but I'm taking everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm staying, and it's because I know that I'm
going to get my lick back every moment of every day.
And
I'm going to stand on your neck.
Siphoning it away so that I can leave at any moment. They are stronger than I am.
I'm living my own life, and we're just married on paper, honestly. Do you know who? You know what? Oh, Salma Hayek married a billionaire, and she also talks about their go 50-50. I'm sorry. Your old, ugly billionaire husband isn't even taking care. I'm sorry. No, that is such a disparity in our. I'm not marrying some old, ugly, rich guy, and then I have to worry about the bills. That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's insane. And I also just feel like 50-50 is not the problem. I mean, it is for me, but I know for other people it's not. But it's more so that if you have the ability to make your spouse's life easier, why don't you want to do that? Why don't you want to do that, billionaire ugly man? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not married though, so I shouldn't.
But I understand what her response, or at least her recent discussion of that is, of there's a lot of independence that finances can afford. And so the over-reliance on one person is a scary endeavor. That said, you got to do what works for you. If we're not making the same amount of money, if we're not equal in what we have and what we make, then it's not 50-50. It's not 50-50 in the split. It's not 50-50 in what we're bringing to the table. So, no, we will not be doing that.
Yeah.
We will be doing a 95-5 if that's the case. And I'm going to garner a bet that Gabrielle Union's net worth is not the same as Dwayne Wade's net worth.
No.
So,
Sure isn't.
She might be trying.
But,
she's creating them hair care products.
The other thing is that we can all just keep it to ourselves. You don't have to go and tell the world what you do with your finances, Gabrielle Union. You can just do it.
I mean, I'm going to devil's advocate you there because it's part of the problem is that people aren't talking about what they do. And so then it's how do you figure out what to do? What are the models that are telling you hey, when you make a disproportionate amount of money from your partner and you are about to combine households, what is the solution? So it's okay, what am I going to do? And what I did do was I'm going to go to Reddit. I'm going to go to Google. What do I do? How do I budget? How do we create a household budget when my partner makes $80,000 and I make $45,000 or whatever? And so it's so we do need some people if they have the audience to listen to them, but we need them to make sense.
Right.
And also,
You didn't have to stray.
Maybe Gabrielle Union isn't going to be our model
exactly.
of how
you guys need to have your own little club over there and talk amongst yourselves, the other millionaires and billionaires. Leave us folk alone to figure it out on Reddit. All right?
we do need us to have more frank discussions about when people make a disproportionate amount of money. You got to do a proportional split of finances.
Yeah, everyone also has strong opinions about stuff, and they will bring you down for them. So.
That's true.
What was it that her grandfather used to say? He said, if you can stand it, I can understand it. And that's how I try to live my life. If you like it, I love it. Don't let me out gear you on, baby. If it worked for you, who am I to complain? So,
And I guess the other side of the coin is she goes out there and says, why the fuck would I pay 50-50? This man makes a bunch of money, and now she's a gold digging whore. So she's probably lost in each option.
So true. I guess everyone's gonna have their own side. Now, I would be on your side if you were a gold digging whore. I'm just gonna let you know that. I think.
But and dig for eternity.
Yeah,
dig for however long you want.
Take him for all he's worth. And leave him.
Yeah, the only way that I can stomach Beyonce's release of Lemonade is because I have to create
some finances I need to get into. Yeah,
because I have to create an entire backstory to the fact that like Beyonce has to probably be cuckolding Jay-Z for the rest of their relationship. Because ain't no way I'm staying with this man.
That's definite. Blue is at minimum his child, so that's out. But yeah, maybe the rest of them.
But I mean, maybe it isn't even about the actual progeny itself. The progeny can remain Jay-Z's, but she's got to get her lick back somehow, and I need to know that it's financial, emotional, mental. I need to know that man is in pain on a regular basis.
Shit hurt me every day. Get on my knees, pray. I'm trying to find another way. I gotta get up out this jungle, niggas killing just to eat. Them lies ain't playing fair, so it's been getting I don't give my heart away. This shit hurt me every day. I get on my knees and pray.
All right, let's get into weekly ins and outs.
Okay.
Do you want to go first?
No. What's in for you this week,
Oh
Kat?
God, I feel like I'm so long-winded. Okay, so I have gotten back into my watching TV in the background bag.
I love that.
And it started with Bob's Burgers, as the listeners have joined me on this journey, then ventured into classic rewatch of Schitt's Creek. Once I finished Schitt's Creek, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of watching the show Great North, but off and on. So I started watching this show called Superstore. I've never seen this. But I remember when it was on because it was like, I didn't watch Ugly Betty, but I know it was a comedy, and that was like America Ferrera's foray into TV. So I was excited to watch Superstore because it was like her second comedy series. The first season kind of was whatever, and like it's really been on in the background. I've not been paying attention or following it, and then somehow last night, like the funniest episodes, I was cackling.
Okay, you know why I love that show? 2 birthdays ago, before I moved to the city I currently live in, and I was dog watching while you were out galloping, traipsing around the world on a lovely birthday vacation. That's what I was watching when I was staying at your house. And so that show reminds me of like, and I was staying at your house when I decided to move. And so like that show reminds me of that time.
My plan worked.
Yeah. And now you're watching it. And
I'm watching it, yeah.
That show is, I also was rewatching that show shortly after I moved here too, because I was like, I need the nostalgia of it.
It's so interesting because when I started it, I thought it was kind of mid, and I had it on in the background just as noise. And I wasn't really paying attention. There was like one character, this assistant manager of the store, who I was like, she's hilarious. She's the best. Freaking fucking hilarious. Yeah. But like as I'm now in season 3 or 4 or something, like now I'm deeper into the series, I'm like, wow, this show's actually pretty funny.
Actually, so really funny, like, just like how annoying Amy's character can be.
So
so
I don't like like obviously season 1's also like kind of playing around with this like infidelity, like emotional infidelity.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to watch a series like this. But anyways, that's in for me this week. Now out for me this week is I have a disorder. Where when I watch shows like this, all of a sudden I think that I should consider working at Walmart because it's going to be a fucking fun time.
Literally, yeah.
I was thinking about this today. I was like, I watch Euphoria and I'm like, man, I really wish I could go back to high school and
do
just
all them drugs.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
I watch Shameless and I'm like, man, I want to live in squalor in the Chicago fucking suburbs.
I want to really work for it,
Yeah. I'm like, so I'd be watching these shows and then I'm all of a sudden like, man, life choices. Like, should I go apply to work at Walmart?
Should I go to law school? Should I move to Washington, D.C. and also try to sleep with the president? Should I go to medical school because I'm watching Scrubs? Should I go through the same thing?
Should I be a vampire slayer?
Okay, and we're getting back to, should I be carrying around crunched up glass in a vial? Like, all of these things sound like a good time.
Yeah, so the downside of a show being as engaging and hilarious as it is means that I now have found myself thinking that like actually retail work at an hourly wage doesn't seem so bad.
You know, and I'm actually going to say, I think that's alt-right propaganda somehow.
I agree. Oh my God. I was like, yes, they want people employed at Walmart.
Like, yeah, doesn't it look fun to work in an office in Scranton? Like, not really. That sounds horrible, and everyone there was kind of fugly. So
I was literally thinking, I was like, I wonder how much Walmart freaking paid for them to make working at this superstore look like such a good time. So fun. I mean, yeah, sure, they don't have health insurance and they're constantly complaining about, you know, their financial issues.
Yeah, and trying to unionize.
But yeah, it looks like it could be a fun time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
For sure.
That's my in and my out this week.
I love it. Those are great.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so I feel like I already touched on it that I really loved Pilates. I did it one time and now I'm a Pilates girly, so that's in for me this week. What's out for me this week is paying to have to do these these classes because before the new year, I actually canceled my gym subscription, which is like $30 a month because I have a gym at where I live. And my thought process was originally when I moved was like, I have to get a gym membership because even though I knew there was a gym where I lived, I work from home. And so if I go to the gym, I will literally never leave the walls of this complex. So let me get a gym membership. Well, you know, I go to the gym at 4 a.m., so not really anyone to know to meet there anyways. So now I'm paying for the privilege to, you know, compete with the general public. That, you know, the other weirdos that are at the gym at 4 a.m. So I cancel my gym membership and I'm like, great. You know, now I'm saving $30 a month. And now I try Pilates one time and now I realize I'm going to have to spend $60. So now I'm double the price. Now I'm not like less $30 a month.
You played yourself.
I played myself. So that's out. So yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of DJ Khaled, when we were listening to that terrible Some Sexy Songs for You album, I went back into the archives of when Drake wrote that book.
Oh my God.
DJ Khaled was reading it. And it was like a half sentence on a page. He's like, the boy different. The boy different. You guys think I'm making this up? No, the boy. The boy. We watched that video recently. It's just like, wow.
There are so many funny things that have happened on the internet that sometimes I think like 21 Savage being from Britain.
Oh my God.
What a time to be alive.
I loved
Oh my
that.
God, Fofty. When that was happening, I thought I was going to die from how hilarious that was.
I still refer to
Fofty,
50 Cent as
please.
Fofty.
I know.
The idea of this man being like, Fofty, please, in the text.
I don't think we realized at the time because we don't watch Vanderpump Rules, but that is one of the main cast members' baby daddy. Randall is the one that was calling him Fofty.
Ugh.
That ugly guy.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was a big thing. He cheated on his wife with her, and then it was Lala's ex. And then of course he was cheating on her.
You don't watch Vanderpump Rules.
I don't.
You know I
know the entire thing.
The 21 Savage memes from finding out that he is an English citizen to this day
Carried
was one of the greatest times to be
Yeah.
alive on Twitter. R.I.P. Twitter, because you ain't been the same since, honestly. Speaking of 21 Savage, I took your advice and got on Game. I looked up that artist, Davinci.
Oh gosh.
And yeah, I have to say they have this song, Vanessa, which just reminds me of this like classic hip hop, like beat driven, like rhythmic, finessa. Like I love that. So and so I appreciate you putting me on Game. Davinci has got some really good stuff, so I've been enjoying listening to that.
I'm glad you finally listened because bro drops nothing but bangers on bangers. And Vanessa, that's one of my. I mean, honestly, every time I look at a song, like I couldn't pick a favorite because they're all so freaking good.
I do feel like I'm a little too old for the target demographic. He has a song called "Jug the Bank." I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a jug is with 2 G's. I don't know what is being referred to, but I will say, like, I enjoy the beat choice and I like his lyrical flow. For me, those are the most important things.
Oh, I agree. Now, gun to my head, I wouldn't be able to explain it, but I feel like contextually, I think I get it, you know, like I'm vibing with it, but yeah, like I wouldn't be able to verbalize it. Sure.
I feel like it's not a thesis on, you know.
I'm thinking they, there's a bunch of money. You're acting as your own bank. There's a bunch of money in a jug.
Okay, yeah, gun to our head. I think we get we get the gist.
I get the gist. That's definitely money motivated.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you are the bank and you don't need to use the bank.
You know what? I'm going to listen to it again. I'm going to keep listening to it. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I'm like, again, my only point was, I don't know if I'm the target demographic of his music,
for sure,
but I really enjoyed listening to it. Well, it was nice to catch up with you.
Yeah, you too.
I am excited to do this all again next week, but until then, stay pretty.
Stay prideful.
You can't finesse. Bitch, I move smart like a motherfucking Tesla. I'm clutching this Glock, do I look like a wrestler? Get put on your back, tryna act like a flexer. Hold on, wait, this Glock take 'em out like a date. She give me the pussy, I just want the face. Fuck her real good, put the bitch in her place. I'm high in the bitch, but my mind up in space.